Everyone, guys. Hope everyone is safe and healthy. So, the topic for today's webinar is software defined networking. This is, we call it soft SDN. So, we know already the traditional networking is there for the past few years, like few decades. Routing and switching technologies are evolving into the both application domains like data centers, campus networking, service providers domain, and mobility as a wireless. So, we have the traditional networking. We in this webinar, the objective is to see how the networking industry is evolving and what are the benefits we are going to achieve by moving into this software defined era. So, as the name says, that software defined networking, it says that software actually, the piece of software is defining my network. It's not like a network admin is configuring anything. It's all centric across these applications what we use today. So before we start, let's take one scenario, right? Everyone is having a PCs or laptops, right, with you. You know that on each of your laptops, you are running an operating system. It might be Windows or Mac operating system or Linux. So if you see in applications, we are just going to any internet or getting applications. We're downloading the applications and installing on our PCs. So the application, if you see that or it's like depending on this operating system, we download a piece of application. So it doesn't bother about what is the hardware we are using. It might be running on Dell laptop or Lenovo laptop, right? So it is completely decoupled from the physical hardware. So with this SDN, we are going to achieve the similar thing into the networking. I want to have my all networking functionalities to run on the hardware, irrespective of what kind of hardware you have. It might be from Cisco, or it might be from Juniper, or it might be from Arista. And having said that, who is controlling all these things? In our case, in server technologies, we have something called operating systems. The same way with software defined networking, we should have some piece of software to control everything. That is called controllers here. So we're going to discuss all these things to achieve this or to facilitate this decoupling our requirements or networking applications from the physical hardware. So this is the agenda for the today's discussion. So we will start discussing with how digitalization is transforming. So what make us to evolve into different directions? So because in olden days the networking is very small networks. Only thing is the packet, the chunk of data has to traverse from one place to other. But the today's it's not the same because of the evolving or the change in this business demands or the business processes or the kind of applications we have like smartphones, mobility, IoT applications. So for the cloud applications. So we'll discuss briefly go through all these things. And the next, before we go into the STA, we'll see base fundamentals of networking and how it is evolving over the years. And then we will quickly discuss on the definition of SDN. If someone asks you what is SDN, you could be in a position to explain them. This is the SDN. And it would be clear that uh, there are many myths around these SDN definitions. I want to clear on all these things. And we will see what is an open flow and open daylight. What is the significance or what is the role of these protocols in SDN, software defined networking. And the next important part is SDN models. So from where it has started and what are the different variants we have, what are the difference between all these variants. And we will quickly discuss on the basics or the key concepts around this SDN, how we are going to implementing these things, what all protocols we use here, all these things. Then we quickly summarize SDN architecture. So on the above slides, we already have covered SDN complete architecture. We'll put together into a structured way, and we will see what is SDN, how it is working, and we will see what are the use cases we're getting with SDN, right? So let me quickly start with digital transformations. So these three are the three pillars for this today's business domains or business outcomes. So it's not the same. Earlier, the business is something like a kind of selling or manufacturing the industries. But today, there is a strong change in this business models with the rise of internet, with the rise of connectivity and mobility. There are like a lot of new business domains are coming in with the different models, and there is a lot of change in the transformations of how they are operating as well. For example, if you see Uber as a one, so their model is completely on internet, right? So they are not owning any of the infrastructure or any of the, uh, although it is a car renting or car leasing system, they don't own any of the cars, but they have built a business model out of it by connecting the gaps. So likewise, we see a lot of businesses are coming. For them, there is a lot of change in the evolution, right? Application side, they're building a lot of applications. Their business requirements are different. So networking is the one which has to facilitate all these things. So we have to evolve as well. That is the intention here. And the next thing is workforce and innovations. The campus or enterprises, we see that a lot of employees are working, and there could be a way to, we have to facilitate them to innovate in themselves, right? Something like providing all the infrastructure, required infrastructure, like different workstations or uh, mobility. If you see that now they can bring any of their devices with this current pandemic situations, right? Everyone is working from their respective hometowns or different locations, remotely controlling the infra present at their office campuses. So this is the one, right? This is one change in the networking. We have to provide that from the networking stand. Or from the customers, there are a lot of customer experiences keep on changing. The customer can't wait for anything now. We have to give an excellent customer experience to the customers. That is where the motive behind different businesses. So there are a lot of endpoints. If you see in this case, the PCs, the mobile phones, or something like different applications. So these are the different endpoints. We have to connect them as per my business logic in a secure manner. So we'll see what are the applications the technology is driving in the market. So mobility, cloud applications, and the security. So as mentioned earlier, the mobility. Earlier, the workstations are docked. So we have to go to the work location. Now each one is having a fixed place. From there, he's just doing his tasks. But today, everything is remote. Everything is abstracted. So he can log in on his phone mobile or on his own laptop in a secured, irrespective of the location where he is. He could get all his privileges. He could access what all things he could access. So the proper granting is taken care in a secure manner, and he could connect from different locations. That identification is taken care. And coming to the applications, he can access the workloads few from his office servers, and few of the applications would be residing on the public clouds. For example, right, if you take our mails, Gmail or Ymail. So we are accessing that applications, but we don't know where it is hosted. Such kinds of applications are evolving everywhere now. So we can directly consume that software, but we don't need to install that or host our applications in the enterprise servers. So the new technologies the driving is or this IoT, Internet of Things, where like it's not only the users who are getting connected to the internet. These are the sensors or the endpoints or the devices, which they don't have any brain or anything, right? So these are distributed endpoints. So if you take parking sensors as an example, for different parking locations, they're spread, they are distributed at different locations. Or if you take smart lightings, so these lights are installed across the street level. So for all these things, what we have to do is like we have to avoid, we have to provide the proper networking with proper access in authenticated manner, and only the admin who is authenticated can control these things, can control either switching on or off this of these smart lights, or if you take the smart something like security cameras, intelligence cameras, where they can get the stream, right? That is everything should be secure. If you take the police department is host deploying this all these secure cameras across the cities or across the highways. So for this all these things, the networking is the one facilitator. It is doing that. It is actually providing the proper access in a secured manner without any by doing all these encryptions. We're taking care of all the security parameters and without any latency. So these are the different applications are getting driving the market these days. There is a change of applications and the cloud infrastructure. So it's not this. These are the providers, right? Public cloud providers like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. So these are some things. They these days the enterprises they're not completely hosting on their own servers. So something like if you take a banking as a customer, if you take Citibank as an example, so they might be having their important data of customers, right? That is very critical information, financial information. So that kind of information or the applications they can host on their private enterprise servers. The same customer, the same critical banking customer is currently hosting few of the applications in the public cloud. So it's depending on what kind of application it is, they are getting hosted at different locations. That is called the hybrid cloud. So the same workload, or I can communicate partially into a server sitting at on premise and some workload sitting at the on cloud. It's all depending on application, what applications I am accessing. If something goes wrong with my server physical hardware, so there should be a backup mechanism, right? I have to take care of resiliency. I just want to move that workload from on premise to the cloud. So that is all taken care. So likewise, cyber security, there are a lot of changes in the threats, secure advanced threats like firewalls. So there are a lot of functionalities here. So this is actually driving us to move in the different directions because the applications are evolving, the needs are evolving. Likewise, we need to move in that direction. We have to tune our networks into that direction. Now it's not the same as like if you have the reachability from one place to other place. It's all about the intelligence forwarding based on the applications or based on what endpoints it is connected. Based on the endpoints, how to forward the traffic. So let's just have a reference, just brief about this OSI model. So although the physical implementation, we follow TCP/IP model, it is something like the first three layers are merged into application. But this is OSI model is very much important for you to troubleshoot the stuffs or to have understanding of what is happening at what stages. So it's a seven layer structure model. So the first one, the layer one is a physical one. The second one, the data link, the network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and the application layer. So let's start from the application layer. Assume that we have opened a web browser and accessing Facebook. The moment web browser is an application, where you're trying to get this HTTPS. You are trying to use this HTTPS protocol to get HTML content. So that is where it starts, everything in this whole stack. So applications at this place, very moment, we will use protocols, right? HTTP or HTTPS, something like FTP if you want to transfer files. So these are the such protocols which are positioned in this application layer. The next thing is the presentation layer, which does this encoding. Because I don't want to send this plain data, I can encode it and decode it at the receiver. So based on this protocol HTTPS, I can, based on my applications, I can do some encoding here. So the session is the one which manages this logging and logout, or when application has started or when it has ended. So this is taken by care by session layer. The next layer is the transport layer, where we have two important protocols called TCP and UDP, which provides that reliable. And next very important layer, where we have our routers position, which does this forwarding or routing decisions. So the next layer is the data link layer, where we have switches, which actually does that forwarding based on the MAC addresses or the physical addresses. The last layer, the physical layer, is the one. These are the physical cablings, or any of the in the case of wireless, these are the radios, which transmits the packets in the form of bits. So this is very much important. Uh, Important thing to note is on the networking, we have routers, the data link, we have switches. So on the fundamentals, we'll see these the three planes. If you take any networking device, as of today, it is having this. It was divided into three functions logically. So the control plane, data plane, and the third one is the management plane. I will discuss what is management plane. So the control plane is something like a brain. So it actually controls and directs how the information has to be forwarded. So the data plane is actual forwarding engine. All the control plane decisions are taken care by the control plane, where we have a CPU in. Based on the processes, we have like something like a routing is an example, where it is running on the control plane. So it will have this routing table, and it will provide us the information. What is the best way to reach out? What is the best path to reach out? But actual forwarding is taken care by the data plane. It is also called a forwarding plane. So this is an example to explain the thing. We have assumed that we have one L3 device, where in between we have a control plane. OSPF is running. It is maintaining its neighbor tables, links to databases, routing tables. So from other router, resistant router to this router, it is exchanging these routes via control plane. But actual forwarding, right, where it has to exit the packet, or the my data has to exit, that is taken care by this forwarding table, which is positioned in data plane. You can consider this as the muzzle, which does the actual forwarding work. And the control plane is the brain. And we have something called a management or policy plane. So from here, how we are gonna access our devices. So this facilitates us to access the device, something like configuring the device or accessing some information from the device. So if we see here, just today's all these networking devices are vendor specific. If it is having a Cisco, if we take Cisco as an example, so on the Cisco's device, it will have its own architecture for the control plane. It will have its own architecture for the data plane, and it will have its own architecture for the management plane. And all are sitting in single box. So if you want to configure, you have to configure what Cisco says. If you want to apply in a protocol, something like a OSPF, although it is standard protocol, but if by applying it on the device, you have to follow what Cisco says or what Cisco's configuration guide says. So it is tightly coupled to the hardware here. Moving on to the evolution with network configuration. Sorry. So in 90s, we have this simple networking topologies where the requirements are simple. I just need to talk to from one side to the other side, or I want to send a chunk of data from one location to the other location. So how we were going to configure it? It was based on the CLIs. But now today, as discussed earlier, applications are evolving, and we have like a huge change in how application demands or the needs ask us, right? A lot of applications are, and we need to be deploy this whole solutions in day out. And with the evaluation of the clouds, it is in seconds now. But actual hardware, if you see the actual hardware, so they are like connected in these bigger topologies with different services. Each does one purpose, but the management is the same, or the configuration of all these devices is the same, going via CLIs. And as mentioned earlier, both control plane, the management plane, and the data plane is sitting inside a single box. So to configure this big topology, or to make this facility for applications, you have to configure the whole topology. It means that we have to go to each of the boxes and then apply the configurations as per your requirements. So I can't say that I need this application. You take this request and process it. It's not the case now with the traditional networking. We have to go to each of the boxes and see how it is connected and what role it is assigned as per my design, and have to apply the configurations using CLIs. So this is very complex, right? So the now the main idea of SDN is like I have to simplify this test because this is consuming my time and there's a lot of human prone errors maybe there, and it's very complex. I'm not getting any holistic picture because the management of each of the devices is independent. I have to go to each of the devices and put my configurations here or do the changes here. So with SDN, I want to simplify this problem statement. So let's go on to this SDN. So what is SDN? Software defined networking. So earlier in this topology, the network admin is defining what my box has to do. Right? He manually going to logging into each of the device and applying the configurations as per the requirements. And then he is dictating each of the networks to do its fixed set of configurations or fixed set of functions. It's not agile or not dynamic here. Now with SDN, with software defined networking, we're gonna fix this. Let's see what is software defined networking. Even if you Google software defined networking, there is no fixed definition as of today also. Even the founder of SDN, the father of SDN, Martin Casado, even he himself confessed that now there is no fixed definition. But you will get a lot of definitions or a lot of information in the internet or in the from these white papers. So few say this is an open flow, few say SDN is a controller, few say SDN is an overlays, or few say it's in just an automation, nothing much. So these are the few definitions you will find it around this SDN. Then what is SDN? The still question is still open. Although you see a lot of definitions here, and I say all are correct, but it's not a protocol. First thing is it's not any protocol or it's not any industry standard. So the main idea of SDN is to fix my problems and simplify the whole network infrastructure to work as what my application or endpoint demands in an agile manner by following the resiliency and in a secured manner. This is what SDN is. what I want, why I am doing moving from traditional networking to SDN networking is to achieve the benefits out of it. I just want my whole networking devices to function what my application demands or what my endpoint is. It's not like I don't fix it. I don't give any fix it task to my device. I want my network to understand what my application is and it should act accordingly. So this is the requirements I have. So if you see the SDN, what I can say is it's an approach and architecture where control and data plane are decoupled.